Hey everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and today I have a process video that is also part of my Scrapbook and Cards Today inspiration series. So you can see that I tore out a page from one of the magazines. It was actually, I think, the summer issue, and it's a two-page layout. So there was a sketch, a page map sketch, and then Wendy Sue Anderson created a two-page layout from it. So when I loved the design of it. You get a lot of photos on a page. So when I went to Scraplift this for this process, I was kind of keeping both Wendy Sue's take and the original sketch in mind because there were things on the original sketch that I liked, and there were things that Wendy Sue had done with it that I liked as well. And I'm not going to lie, this layout kind of threw me for a loop. And I don't know if it was because I had pulled some papers that I thought I was going to use, and then when I set this little kit that I put together aside, and when I finally got around to making this video, I went, oh, what was I gonna do? Like, why did I pick these? How are these gonna work together? What was my plan? And then also, I ran out of adhesive. So that slowed down the first part of the video because I ended up using my red tape instead of my double-sided squares because I couldn't get to Michael's in time to get more squares. But the second half of this video, I do have the double-sided adhesive squares. Another thing that made this take a little bit longer was just because it was a two-page layout. I was getting, I think, 5 big photos on the layout. And I will actually, you'll see toward the end, I'm taking another photo and cutting it into smaller bits so that it actually looks like there are 7 photos on the layout. But all in all, once I got into it, it ended up turning out pretty well. And if you want to see more of my takes on SCT magazine sketches and scrap lifts and challenges, whatever, I've got a playlist that you can view here on my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you are a current subscriber. I am getting close to 600 subscribers as of the recording of this voiceover. If you haven't subscribed yet, but you love scrapbooking and you love getting inspiration from other scrappers, hey, that's why I made this channel. So consider clicking that subscribe button, ringing the bell for notifications, and hopefully you see a lot here that you like. So I'm trying to figure out, because it's 2 pages, I'm trying to figure out which papers I'm going to use and what's going to go where. So the original sketch, it's kind of weird. I'm not going to lie. The original sketch has like the first page with 2 pieces of patterned paper that are pretty big. And then there's sort of a section of paper that extends from the first page and goes all the way across to the second page. And then there's a smaller bit of like pattern. It could be pattern paper, could be solid cardstock, whatever you choose, that goes from the first page all the way across. So it's a little strange to have the first page with this pattern paper background, and then the second page has a totally different background. That's something that I'm not used to doing. So I hope that I, tied both of my pages together enough. I think I will definitely keep the sketch on hand. I usually save stuff, and I had like a pile of old scrapbook inspiration books. I don't even know if they make those anymore. And just like other sketches that I had saved. So this is one I definitely want to save. I don't, and now that I've done it, now that I've gone through the process of using it, I think the next go round will be a little bit easier. And it might even be easier if I start fresh with like a brand new kit. You know what I'm saying? Because this utilizes items from the August paper issues kit that I got. It utilizes, I think, some of the May paper issues kit. I've got some of the solid pink cardstock that I picked up from a Recollections paper pad. I've got Simple Stories embellished, I think, Simple Stories? No, Doodlebug stuff that I got from my latest haul. Some ephemera pieces from, I think, Jen Hadfield from the last month's Best of Both Worlds kit. So it's a mishmash of things, and I think that might also be why I was having trouble getting everything together. So the first page And I love the page map sketch because they give you measurements. So the first page has 2 vertical photos, 3.5 by 4.5. And I actually wrote the measurements on the back of each photo so that I could remember how I wanted to cut them down. So that was really helpful. Thank you, past me. Future me thanks you. And then on the original sketch, there were not these little, like square pieces down at the bottom. But Wendy Sue Anderson added those square pieces, and 2 of hers are actually photos. So I liked the 2, I think they're 2 by 2 maybe, size squares that were from the Jen Hadfield. It's like grateful for you and you bring me joy or something. And since these are photos of my kid, that kind of makes sense. We're on vacation. It was her in Washington, D.C., and I'm in a couple of the photos that are going to be on the second page. And then I had these cute little frames from a Doodlebug pack that I got for free from scrapbook.com. And I was like, these are just going to be so cute. I can, add embellishments to them. And then later on, I decide I'm actually going to use the frames to frame some photos. So I had one photo at the end. And again, you'll see this as the process goes on. But I'm just going to tell you, I wasn't doing it now because I wasn't really thinking about it. But then I do go back later. And of course, I had to peel up the adhesive. And I ended up putting embellishments down, which is what I'm going to do right now from a Bella Boulevard sticker pack that I've pretty much used all the way up. I love the Bella Boulevard 12 by 12 sticker sheets with the alphas and all the different just designs and phrases and whatnot. And then I'm going to add some Bella Boulevard stars. They're like puffy stars to go along with the little rainbow there. And I'm looking here at the letters, the white letters that are very hard to see on the white background. The title on the original layout was kind of over off into that left-hand corner, and I didn't like using the white letters there because they didn't show up very well on that polka dot pattern paper. So I'm just going to move my title over, but then I'll still add an embellishment cluster in the left-hand side there. So yeah, this is going to be called Summer Sightseeing, and I'm combining these white Bella Boulevard letters with some freckled fawn chipboard alpha stickers from the Paper Issues kit from August. I don't think they've done a kit for the following months, so I need to look into that. They've got a lot of cool things going on at Paper Issues. They have a warehouse box sale. They were having a warehouse box sale at the time of this voiceover. So if you're not part of the Paper Issues Facebook group, get over there because you don't want to miss that. So here are the corkboard alphas, which I just love, and you get a lot of alphas on a sheet, so I was able to do the entire word of sightseeing, and I'm putting down there at the bottom, I thought about making it go across the photo, which is something that I really like to see. I like it when stickers and photos kind of connect that way, but I didn't want to cover up a lot of the Washington Monument in the photo with the alphas, so I put it down there at the bottom, and this pretty much does it for the first half of the layout. Then I have to figure out the second half, and that's the tricky part, because like I said, the first half you're like, oh, it's that big navy blue and white pattern and then the pink pattern. There's just a lot going on, but you're not bringing those. I mean, I guess I could have. I was trying to stick to the main basics of the sketch and how Wendy Sue also used it in that same way. But you're like, I thought maybe I'll do a white background, but then I didn't really like that because some of the photos I was backing with white cardstock, and I'm like, well, that's pointless. White on white, you're not even going to see it. So obviously I have to have that pink cardstock coming across onto the second page. That's going to stay. The polka dot paper has to come across to the second page. That's going to stay. So those are mainly the big things that are tying both pages together. So here I am cutting down this photo according to the sketch, which is going to be 3.5 by 4.5 vertical. And then the horizontal photos, they're kind of a weird size. So that I printed them out 4 by 6, and then I cut them down according to the sketch to 5.5 by 3.25. And then one of them, because I liked on Wendy Sue's layout, she only has 2 photos on the second page. Now the original sketch has 3, and I obviously had a lot of photos, so I wanted to use all 3. Now Wendy Sue takes the pattern paper, which in my case would be the navy and the white that I've got right there, and she actually makes kind of like a journaling tag using that pattern paper on the second page. So that's another way to tie the first and the second page together. And looking back on this, I should have made the border of that pattern paper a little bit bigger, because you can see that it's different, but I don't think it's as noticeable that it's the same pattern from the first page. So hindsight 2020, but whatever. But yeah, so I did that because I liked how Wendy Sue was, tying the papers together, and I still wanted to have a photo there. So here I'm mounting this vertical one. I'm like, what size is that on the white cardstock? And I'm like, what? It's not gonna look good at all. So I have to go back to the drawing board, and luckily I did pick up that Recollections paper pad, that when it was that buy one get two free sale at Michael's a couple weeks ago. I have recently been to Michael's and they no longer had that sale. They no longer had like any good sales. However, thank goodness that I purchased it, and then I purchased other paper pads as well, because here it comes. I'm going through this one to see if there's anything that might fit the colors or whatever, and I found this pinky wood grain, a pink wood grain. How gorgeous is that? And I'm like, you know what? That kind of works, because there's like pinks on the first page, and yeah, let's go with it. And I love a good wood grain, and then it's something different that's not just white or a solid color. Although I could have done a solid color if I'd had maybe darker solid color cardstocks, maybe I would have done that. But I also don't really like doing the solid pink on a solid. Maybe if the pink cardstock I used had also been a pattern. Anyway, there are lots of different ways that this could have gone. And again, if I do this sketch again, it will be different. It will be. And I will think, again, I think it's helpful even when you're doing a 2-pager, because you got to have a lot of paper, to have like a fresh kit, or a fresh collection. Like I have everything ready. And that way you don't have to worry about like, oh no, do I have enough of this paper? Or oh no, what am I going to do with this one? So just, some words of advice. I don't know how often you guys do 2-page layouts, to be quite honest. I used to do a lot of 2-page layouts, and then I got really into single-page layouts. So it's rare that I do a 2-pager. I have been doing more over the couple months. I feel like I go through little spurts where I'm like, 2 pages, yeah! And then other ones I'm like, no, I'm just going to separate all these photos. I'm just going to do one photo on one page. So let me know in the comments what you guys prefer. If you are 12 by 12 scrappers, if you scrap a different size, if you do a lot of single pages or double pages, I would love to know what you guys are into. And then that could also inform the future content for this channel. If you don't like seeing 2-page layouts, I will do process videos that are just single page. I am adding in I'm going to add in a tag. I have these Ellie Studio tags, which are so cute, and I used a whole bunch of them on a recent layout, so I only have 3 left. But there's a tag in the original sketch, and then also Wendy Sue incorporates tags in her layout as well. So I definitely wanted to have some of those there. Right now I'm just trying to add a few more embellishments, and again, trying to like tie the 2 pages together. So I have this piece there that says I can't even see it. It says something about like, you make life bright. Again, that would be like talking to my kid. And I added some of the polka dot scallop sticker on the first page. You can't really see it, but it lines up with the You Make Life Bright sticker. So I feel like that's, again, taking things across the page and tying them together. So this tag that I have down at the bottom, I was going to use the other 2, but I felt like since I had already put the embellishments where I had put them at the top of this second page, I didn't want to like overdo it with the embellishments. So I'm going to save them for something else. And I'm just using this Ellie Studio tag here, the green one with a heart sticker on top, and then one of the Bella Boulevard puffy stickers on top of the heart, just kind of adding some layering. I'm going to do some journaling down at the bottom, and thank goodness I still had an extra photo because I was able to take it and look at the back of the photo to get the date. So again, these are just photos from our summer vacation. We drove to Washington, D.C. It was freakishly hot, and we literally walked like, it had to be 4 miles. We just walked all over DC. My daughter sat in the stroller for most of it. But my husband's like, let's go to see this one. Let's go to see this one. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It was brutal. But that's DC in the summer for you. So if you're ever going to go, maybe go like not in August or not June or not July. Maybe go sometime else. But see, now I have that extra photo. And it's a photo of me and my kid at the Roosevelt Memorial, FDR Memorial. And I'm like, you know what? I could cut this apart. Because obviously, I'm standing, she's sitting in a stroller. But I'm like, we're not going to fit both of us in one of those frames. But I could cut us apart. So then you have me in one frame and her in the other. And like, no one has to know it's from the same photo or anything. That doesn't really even matter. It's just, photos of us on vacation, and now I'm going to get them in those cute little frames. Again, should have maybe thought this through a little bit more, done some better measuring. I'm like struggling here trying to get it into the frame. But that's how I scrapbook sometimes. I'm just kind of like, I don't think things through, and then I stick things down, and I'm like, oops, I gotta cut. I've gotta peel this up and redo it, or I don't like where this is, so I gotta peel it up and redo it, and that's okay. Whatever your scrapbooking technique, whatever your style is, it's okay. There is no right, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to scrapbook. I think everybody has their own aesthetic that they prefer, which is great because then, especially if you're on YouTube, you can see how a lot of people use different products in different ways and just create a layout in different ways. And that can be very inspiring, especially if you're looking to try something new. But if you have a thing that works for you, just stick with it. You don't have to make your layouts look like anybody else. And you don't have to worry that like yours aren't as good as anybody else, because even those of us who are here on YouTube, like I'm not a professional, and I know a lot of other people are not. There are people who have channels that you probably think are professionals, but like most of us are just on here because this is our hobby, and we just like sharing our work and connecting with other people through the internet. So, everybody has their off days. Everybody creates layouts that they really love, and then layouts where they're like, oh, I don't know. But you do you, and don't ever worry that something that you've created isn't amazing, because it's your work. You spent the time doing it. You chose everything, and it's good. All right. So I'm just trying to figure out here as I finish this up real quick, if I want to add some more embellishments, because I feel like the second page, because it doesn't have the stuff going on at the bottom like the first one does, I feel like it's a little naked, and I don't like that, but I also don't want to like ruin the flow of the page, I guess is what I'm going to say. So I'm adding one more little cluster on top of that vertical photo. And then I'm like, maybe I should put some stuff at the bottom. And here's where again, where I don't really think things through. I'm like, let's put that there. And then I'm like, no, it's too close to the rainbow. So I peel the sticker up, and then what happens? Some of the paper tears. I'm just going to go with it. But yeah, that happened. So I struggled a little bit to figure out like the best placement for some embellishments. And I ultimately decided that star was too big. So I chose some other ones. And here are the close-ups. If you have any questions or comments about the products that I used, the techniques that I did, let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate you being here. I hope you have a scrappy day and find lots of inspiration. I will see you next time. Bye!